Hey guys, so I wanted to do a video today really addressing first generation college students. So there's several reasons why I wanted to do this video. First of all, I'm a first generation college student, so I really feel that the best thing to do if you're having no idea what's going on is to talk to someone, and who better yet to tell you about first generation college students than a first generation college student. The second one is that the federal government wants to cut TRIO, Aspire, and McNair Scholarship Programs, which are specifically designed to help first generation college students. So I will link in the bottom bar a Facebook link where you can just sign a petition where it's really just asking the federal government to not cut this program. So now that I've put in my little thing, I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So the first thing that you want to do as a first generation college student is to look for outreach programs that can provide tutoring, counseling, mentoring, and anything that will prepare you for college. Some of these programs start as early as middle school and high school. Some of them branch off specifically at a college. So it's very important that you look for these at your local colleges and you kind of ask before you're going to apply if you're in high school. If not, and you're already at a university and you've selected one, that you see if there's anything there to help you. The next thing is to tap into your community resources and find other things that you can work in. Sometimes socializing and kind of creating connections and getting to know people is really the one thing that's going to help you. There are tons and tons and tons of programs at colleges that are out there to help you, but unfortunately, they don't have amazing outreach. So unless you go look for them, you're not going to find them. So another thing would be to find someone that is a graduate student or someone that can help you. So it's really nice to have that support, especially if your family isn't really going to understand what you're going through and they can't provide that information for you. Then the other thing is that you've already taken a huge step by considering going into college and applying for admission and getting your financial aid. Financial aid can be very tricky if you've never encountered it before, so you want to make sure that you go and ask questions. If you're not sure what something means, if you're not sure how to fill out an application, you find someone to help you. As far as the FAFSA is concerned, there is a 1-800 number you can call if you don't know how to fill something out. You can also fill out your financial aid forms at the university that you're applying at, and you can also do paper applications. I know a lot of places tell you to do it online, but if you're not sure and you've never done it before, go ahead and bug someone. You're perfectly within your rights. The next thing, again, like I always say, is to go talk to a counselor. My also tidbit suggestion is always to make sure that you sign up for a specific counselor, just so that you're able to build a relationship with him. Because if you think about it this way, if he's seen you and he knows who you are and he's seen you a few times, he might be more willing to give you more information because he'll know you, and he'll also know the specifics about your case. If you have any, you know, special circumstances of any sort and your counselor knows it because you've built a relationship, then he might be able to find programs that specifically address your needs. The other one would be to really talk to your family. Just because your family's never gone into higher education and hasn't graduated from high school and hasn't stepped foot in a university does not mean that they shouldn't be involved. I know that that can actually cause problems when you start missing family reunions or parties, or your family doesn't understand why it's taking so much of your time. I know I've had arguments with my family about that before because personally I tend to put education above anything else, and that's very, very important for me, and I always just encourage education on anybody that I can. So I've made sure that I tell my mom what's going on, that I tell her when finals week is, that I tell her how many classes I'm taking, how many books I'm reading even. It's just a way to let them know and let them in into what's going on. The other one is, well, it's gonna sound cheesy, I don't even want to say it, but don't be afraid to dream. If you wake up one day and you're like, you know what, I want a PhD, there's nothing wrong with that, but make sure that you follow up. I've talked to several people and told them kind of what I wanted to do, and that is the only way that I found out to do a tons of things, that I found out about where I should go, what programs I can apply to, what programs apply to me, what a PhD really means, what grad school really means, is by talking to people. Just because, again, there's no one in my family that I can really talk to about that or that would know anything about it. The other thing is to make sure that you stay away from people who tell you that you can't or know or say that you shouldn't or don't understand. Just because someone doesn't understand your situation doesn't mean that they shouldn't be supportive. Again, I tend to put education above everything, and I've had friends who don't go to school and they tend to not be as understanding versus friends that do go to school that know exactly how much time it takes to study for a test and know exactly how much material I need to cover. So it's always really nice to kind of build a foundation of friends at your university, make sure that you reach out and you talk to people, and also to kind of be very strict with yourself that if you're going to study that you make sure that you study. Another one would be to stick with people who are willing to invest in your future. I know I have three professors who honestly are amazing, amazing women and have honestly saved my life and just been amazing for me and have been there for me. And I have one professor in particular who's just gone above and beyond any help that I could have ever asked her. And she's willing to kind of hold my hand and help me through this grad school process because again it's something very new to me and I've never done anything like this before. So it's just really nice to keep in touch with people like that and that you're willing to tell them everything, that you're willing to be like, this is what I want to do, this is where I'm stuck at, this is where I need help. And you're not shy. If you're a first generation college student, they understand that there's a lot of things that you're going to be missing, that you're not going to be great at. Especially if English is your second language, that you're missing a few gaps and you may not have everything there, but that you can and that you can accomplish it. So this is kind of my little speech about that. The last thing that I would say is don't let finances stop you from going to college. A lot of people tend to think, oh, I'm going to go to junior college because I can't afford school. But usually, if school costs tons more, they're willing to give you more financial aid. An example of this would be if you can get into Stanford, Stanford will pay for your undergrad education. Of course, you have to get in. But since it is a larger piece of your income that school's going to go to, they do tend to offer more financial aid things. The last thing that I will say is scholarships. Don't forget to apply for scholarships and don't ever assume that you don't apply for them. They're not going to give them to you. Let them decide that you don't get it or that you don't qualify. So those are my little kind of pearls of wisdom. If you guys have any questions at all or want to talk to me or want to discuss a little bit about your case, there are a lot of programs that I can hopefully refer you to. So go ahead and you leave a comment on the bottom bar if you guys are interested. And as always, if you have any suggestions on new videos, that would be great. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.